Bo Nickal, future UFC champion, potentially, has been signed to the UFC and will make his UFC debut at UFC 282 on the pay-per-view prelims against Jamie Pickett. That's the main topic of today's video, but we also have Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington betting odds, Darren calling out Bo Nickal, Alvarez, a Michael Chandler trilogy, potentially in 2023, and much more during this live stream. If you're liking it so far, and if you do end up liking this video, go down and like the video, subscribe to the channel with all notifications enabled for more MMA news videos just like this. But let's get into it. First topic of the day, Bo Nickal making his UFC debut at UFC 282. I'm saying it's an easy peasy lemon squeezy first round finish for Bo Nickal. Bo is 3-0 as a pro MMA fighter. He is going to be younger at just about 27 years old, taking on a 34-year-old who, yes, is taller, who, yes, is lengthier, who is going to be a little bit more athletic than Bo Nickal in terms of the striking. But we all know what's going to happen. Bo's going to strike with him for a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 strikes will land from Bo Nickal, and then Bo will be like, I'm going to wrestle, I'm going to grapple, I'm going to take down Jamie Pickett and ground and pound TKO. I'm going to submit him. It's going to be an absolute domination. Bo Nickal making his UFC debut. I'm calling domination. Round number 1 finish for his 3rd finish in a row inside of the UFC banner, whether it's Contender Series or now the UFC. We also have the betting odds for Bo Nickal and Jamie Pickett, and they are kind of what you would expect, honestly, for a Bo Nickal UFC debut. I'm looking at them right now. They got it released about an hour ago, and Bo Nickal is at minus 1,800 as a humongous favorite to go out there and beat Jamie Pickett. If you look back earlier on in Jamie Pickett's career, Caio Baralho, a fighter that's about to get inside the top 15 of the UFC's middleweight division, was only a 3-1 favorite, and now Bo Nickal will be an 18-1 favorite at UFC 282. Absolutely insane, but I'm gonna be honest. I agree with the betting odds. If I'm gonna be totally honest, I agree they should be that good for Bo Nickal. Then we got Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington betting odds. These odds are very interesting in my opinion because right now in the UFC's middleweight division, we thought maybe Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev, something like that. Maybe even Khamzat versus Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland, maybe a Robert Whittaker, maybe the loser of Adesanya Pereira. We thought maybe it'd be a middleweight matchup. But yesterday, he said that he would like to fight Colby Covington next in his next UFC fight. And the betting odds have been released for the odds that there would be if this fight does eventually get made in the UFC's welterweight division. And right now, the betting odds are having Khamzat Chimaev as a slight favorite at minus 155, as a very slight favorite over Colby Covington to win that fight. The odds have been moving up and down every now and then, but Colby Covington is going to be the underdog in the only other fights besides a Kamaru Usman fight. And guess what? Money is coming in on Khamzat Chimaev. Started at minus 125. It was a very slight favorite and is now all the way at minus 155 now as we're watching this video, and as we're making this video, has moved to minus 160. So the hype is real on Khamzat. They still think that he's going to go out there and beat Colby Covington, even with a potential bad weight cut looming for Khamzat to make weight against Colby Covington. What do y'all think, Chimaev or Colby Covington? I'm gonna lean Colby Covington to win by a decision. And we got Darren wants Bo Nickal fight in the future. Says he will land right on the chin of Bo Nickal, knock him out in round 1 or round number 2. And guess what? Darren already has a fight Guess what? On the same card as Bo Nickal fighting Dricus du Plessis on the main card of the pay-per-view. I personally think Darren Till is going to lose that fight to du Plessis, and I think maybe, possibly, the UFC could be like, alright, well, now the stock is really dropped for Darren Till. There's really no point in continuing the hype train that was Darren Till at one point in his career. When he was fighting Tyron Woodley for the belts, when he was fighting Robert Whittaker in a close decision, the hype is pretty much gone for Darren Till. So if Darren Till loses to Dricus du Plessis, and Bo Nickal beats Jamie Pickett, beats one more opponent, you never know. If Darren Till wants it, Bo Nickal will 1000% want that fight. You never know. We could get a Bo Nickal versus a Darren Till fight in the middleweight division. Number 9, ranked middleweight versus unranked middleweight. Early prediction, I got Bo by submission in round number 1 against Darren Till. Solid rear naked choke submission. And we got Eddie Alvarez open to coming back to the UFC's lightweight division or the Bellator's lightweight division. This is some very interesting news, because guess who he called out if he were to come back to the UFC's lightweight division? He said the fight he would be looking forward to would be a Michael Chandler trilogy in the UFC's lightweight division. I'm going to be dead honest with you, I kind of like that fight. Eddie Alvarez taking on the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Chandler, who was about to have a 3-round banger of a fight with Dustin Poirier in the lightweight division. We saw how Eddie Alvarez did against Dustin Poirier, ended up getting knocked out in round number 2, but again, he beat guys like Rafael dos Anjos, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, Michael Chandler, and then of course he lost to Michael Chandler as well. So they are currently 1-1. Chandler got the 4th round rear naked. Eddie Alvarez got a very close split decision, giving Michael Chandler his first ever UFC or MMA loss in general. So let's make the trilogy. I think Michael Chandler loses to Dustin Poirier. So if Eddie Alvarez comes back to the UFC, let's do Eddie Alvarez taking on Michael Chandler in the lightweight division. Loser retires or just gets kind of pushed out of the UFC. Winner maybe gets a Justin Gaethje rematch or something like that. But I really like it. Eddie Alvarez versus the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Chandler. And then we have the lightweights again. Dustin Poirier wished Michael Chandler fight was 5 rounds. He said he wanted to do it for the fans. He said if it was 5 rounds, it would be the best fight card in a century of MMA. Obviously, there was no MMA a century ago, but that's how far Poirier was willing to make this fight seem. That if it was 5 rounds of action in the lightweight division, that Poirier Chandler would have been the best fight in UFC history, in MMA history. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think it would be an absolute banger in the lightweight division. I agree with Poirier. I wish it was 5 rounds as well. But who wins that one in 3 rounds at UFC 281? And we go on again to the lightweight division. Conor McGregor calls out Hezbollah for a sparring session on Twitter. He says, I promise I won't hit Hezbollah too hard. Let's put on some really padded gloves and me and Hezbollah can have a sparring session. I'm no casual to MMA. I've been watching MMA for quite a while, and I can confidently go out there and say Hezbollah would absolutely freaking destroy Conor McGregor. All he has to do is pressure him back. Conor's going to step on his ankle, and it's going to snap clean down the middle. Hezbollah is going to start emptying the gas tank with ground and pound. Get the back of Conor McGregor and tap him out like chicken, like Khabib Nurmagomedov says. I mean, this is a horrible call out for Conor McGregor. He knows he is going to lose that fight. But who wins, Hezbollah or McGregor? It's pretty obvious, though. Then we got Bellator Lightweight Grand Prix in 2023. Scott Coker has just announced it. He said a few of the fighters that are going to be on this year's 2023's lightweight Grand Prix in Bellator for the $1 million. He said Patricky Pitbull will definitely be on the card. Usman Nurmagomedov will definitely be on the card. Tofik Musayev will be on the card. Possibly Brent Primus. If Islam Mamadov can win his fight this weekend, he'll be on the card as well. And a few other guys, possibly an outlier fighter in AJ McKee Jr., who's gonna fight in the lightweight division this weekend. But I can't wait to see who does end up fighting on that lightweight Grand Prix, because I already know, and I already think Usman Nurmagomedov's gonna be the winner. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Usman beats the champion in the lightweight division, Patricky Pitbull. He beats Benson Henderson. He beats Tofik Musayev, Sidney Outlaw, Brent Primus, Alexander Shabili, Islam Mamadov. I think he beats every last one of those fighters. So that's my early prediction for the lightweight Grand Prix in Bellator. But who do you think will be the 8 fighters on that Grand Prix? Then we got Melsik Baghdasaryan breaking his hands and is out of UFC Fight Night on, which fight card was it going to be on? It was November 15th, or was it October 15th? I'm getting it wrong. October 15th, Grasso versus Araujo in just 2 weeks from now has been canceled. My original prediction was that Melsik Baghdasaryan would barely edge out a close decision, outstriking Joe Anderson Brito on defeats. But the fight has been canceled. Melsik has withdrawn from the fight after going 2-0 in the UFC, one of which coming by knockout, and Joe Anderson going 1-1 in the UFC, also one of those wins coming by knockout. But that fight has been canceled for October. That is about it for today's MMA news. We got Baghdasaryan out of Joe Anderson Brito fight. Usman Nurmagomedov, future Bellator lightweight Grand Prix $1 million champion. McGregor calling out Hasbulla. Poirier, Chandler should be 5 rounds. Eddie Alvarez, Michael Chandler trilogy in UFC return. Darren Till wants a Bo Nickal fight in the future. Says he will KO Nickal. Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington, UFC 282. Betting odds, Bo Nickal, Jamie Pickett betting odds, and Bo Nickal, UFC 282. Easy debut. First round finish versus Jamie Pickett. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it this far, which is, I applaud you. You made it through the full MMA news video. Make sure to go down, put your thoughts on all of these topics down below in the comment section. And of course, subscribe with notifications on. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.